Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, recently, as in the last few minutes, my refrigerator has started to make a horribly dangerous sounding noise, and I'm not sure how to handle it. But, regardless, I hope that it doesn't explode in the middle of this commentary and leave nothing more than a trace of who I was. But I guess that wouldn't work because someone still has to be there to upload the video. I don't know. I'll put it in my will. Whatever. So, going to answer some questions now and address some topics that you've sent me. So, if you want to get involved in it, send me a goddamn tweet. Can't blame you if you don't get in on it. Sorry, but go wild. Okay. Marson, what are your views on homosexuals and where do you think they stand in today's society? I'm fine with homosexuals. Go hog wild if that's what you want. If you're into penis, you seize that penis and you have a good time. Maybe seize isn't a good word. That sounds remarkably uncomfortable, but you enjoy it. You had fun with it. As far as their influence on me, there really isn't an influence on me. If every other guy in the world were gay, all the women would be up for grabs. So I'm in favor of as many gay males as I can possibly encourage to become gay. Not that I'm saying it's a choice, but it's a beneficial thing for me as a straight guy. Anyway. Lazy Guy 1 Wazam. What's the biggest prank you've ever done on somebody? I'm actually not a huge prankster, really. I'm trying to think right now. God, these are the kind of questions I wish I had read before the video. I actually can't remember any huge pranks that I've pulled on someone ever. I did a few prank calls on PKA a while ago, but even that, that was pretty much my first experience with prank calls. I really just, I don't know why. Maybe I should really try and open up the pranking portion of my life. Maybe that will bring me much happiness, so I'll check that out. YouTube Cole L. Chipotle or Subway? Well, those are not comparable, sir. If I'm wanting to go out later that night and I don't want to be weighed down particularly, I'll pick Subway. The sweet onion chicken teriyaki sandwich is always fantastic, and really, I haven't ever found a reason to get a foot-long sub at Subway. Maybe I just don't eat as much of subs as other people, but every time I've gotten a foot-long, I'm always like a third of the way through the second 6 inches of sub, and I'm always like, Jesus Christ, this is just unpleasant. So Subway, for me, is the better choice if I'm going to be active that day, since I really only get the 6-inch sub, and that's enough food to hold in your stomach while drinking inordinate amounts of alcohol, in addition to the fact that it keeps you full. So it's a good thing. Whereas Chipotle, if I know I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day, and I can just sit down and feel as though someone has dropped a cinder block in my stomach and just be completely content and, just full for hours and hours on end, then I'll pick Chipotle. But, if we're talking about strictly taste, obviously Chipotle, the less healthy option, is always way better. But I guess that's only it. No, never mind. Not gonna add that hedge to my statement. Chipotle definitely tastes better all the time. Hiddlehad, what game has made you most angry? Oh Jesus, I need to think about this. What game has made me most angry? Honestly, this is an interesting response because I've realized that no game ever has made me more angry at the prospect of playing the game anymore than Skyrim. Skyrim as a whole is one of the most fun games I've ever played. I loved it. I put hours and hours and hours into it. Tons of fun. Haven't played it in weeks just because I've pretty much done everything I could with my characters, but I had a ton of fun with it. But at the same time, god damn, there were so many glitches in that game. Constantly, I would be in the middle of a quest, I would go and try and open a door or something, or any kind of thing where you need a key, or you have to use something in your inventory to further the quest line, and probably, I don't want to seem like I'm bashing the game to it, probably a fifth to a quarter of the time, it would just not work when I tried to do something like that, and then I would have to go back, resave, try and look up online how I could circumvent this glitch, and it was just a huge debacle so many times, especially when those missions that you can't complete are missions that your success is contingent upon. That's very frustrating. So it's an interesting answer to that. I had a shit ton of fun on Skyrim, but at the same time, god damn, when the glitches happened and when I couldn't, just finish a quest, even though I really wanted to get what I got at the end of the quest, very frustrating. GD Raven, a bunch of shit. My name on Twitter. Okay, well, my opinion of your name on Twitter is that you should stop sending me goddamn questions if your name is impronounceable. Can you please, for once, can some of you have a name like Scott Stevens, or, that's a hockey player for the New Jersey Devils, or he was, rather, or like Paul, Smith, or just something normal. You don't got to put all those uppercase and lowercase letters in there. I believe you. You're cool. That's okay, man. Just switch it up. Get your life on track. Aw Sydney, the dumbest person I've ever met. The dumbest person I've ever met, far and away, is at quite a few universities, actually, in the Midwest and in the South. There's this dude who goes around by the name of Brother Jed. And Brother Jed is especially famous for his, speaking at my university, because he always stands in an area called Speaker's Circle. And the little, tradition with this little circle of pavement in the middle of campus is that you can stand there, say whatever you want, and nobody can come in and tell you otherwise. So I guess if someone like a KKK member just walked in the middle of that circle and started yelling off horrible slurs, they would stop it. But for the most part, that's pretty much understood. And this guy, he stands out there all the time, like all throughout the spring and even in the fall times before break when it's not too cold. He'll stand there and he will yell at you as you walk by holding this staff, like a literal staff with a cross on it, and he will tell you different reasons why you're going to hell. And he is not the dumbest person I've ever met. His little assistant, I don't even know what the hell his name is, but this other guy with white hair, and he's fat, and he's just an asshole. He's there with him sometimes, rarely, and this guy is just a goddamn lunatic. Like Brother Jed, he'll say some crazy stuff, but at the end of the day, he's not going to call you, a slut and an awful person for walking by in a miniskirt, and he's not going to look at a guy and say, you must be gay, or something like that, just calling someone out right there. But this guy, Brother, whatever the hell his name was, he did that all the time, or he would do this all the time. And one time I had a discussion with him wherein he told me that he would take great pleasure in putting his fingers in my eye sockets and bowling my head into the lake of fire in the afterlife. And that, it wasn't so much dumb as it was just really laughable, because the last thing I could ever conceivably picture Jesus saying is like, I can't wait to just fuck you up in the afterlife. Like, really? Like, really? You're a follower of Jesus, and you're, like, threatening me with horrific consequences right now if I don't become friends with Jesus. What kind of marketing scheme is that? Like, Jesus. Maybe Jesus should say, if you come and hang out with me, I'll give you all this awesome stuff, and if you don't want to hang out with me, you don't have to hang out with me. But instead, this guy has the presentation of, if you don't hang out with Jesus, you're going to hell! And it was just a crazy, and he actually said that. He said, hang out with Jesus. I don't know what he meant by that. Like, what? Hanging out with, what the hell does that mean? I don't know. But, yeah, he was the most frustrating, if not the dumbest person I've ever met. DJ Lunar Eclipse, nothing about politics, please. I don't want to talk about politics right now, so I will, I guess, respect your wishes. Unless, of course, someone with a comment subsequent to yours requests that I speak about politics, in which case I have no choice but to oblige them. I like Nachos 101. Would you rather jerk off the president or have the president jerk you off? Well, both of those seem rather unpleasant, but I'm going to have to go with whatever the best story is, and it would clearly be a better story if Obama performed certain actions on me. That would be a great story for parties. Even if there was a guy there with something crazy impressive, like I'm the guy who jumped out of that Red Bull module and I floated 10 miles to the surface of the earth, whatever the fuck. I can just be like, oh yeah, that's pretty impressive. Well, I actually got a hand job from President Obama. And everybody will be like, holy shit, wow, that's a really impressive story. I'd have to have some sort of picture evidence, though, because nobody would believe me. Yeah. She-Ra's, difficult name to pronounce. The Hulk versus Thor, who would win? Oh, the Hulk. I'm not in tune with the whole comic book universe, rather. Or even the superhero universe. And I'm pretty sure comic books are the main medium by which those stories are told, but if there are like TV shows and stuff about the Hulk and Thor, I haven't seen them, but I would have to say the Hulk, just because my layman knowledge of superheroes shows me that the Hulk is immensely powerful and would totally rip the arms off of Thor. And even if you're a god, let's see you regrow some arms. That's simple biology. You're screwed, foe. You're screwed. The foe of Hulk is always screwed, because he will win. Moa, 1993. Do you think being intelligent helps to become a happier person, or is it possible that analyzing things deeply is bad? I would certainly never contend that analyzing things deeply is bad, but I will offer up the contention that being intelligent and looking at your life introspectively and meaningfully can probably have a negative effect on your happiness level, because really the old adage, ignorance is bliss, is about as true as it gets. People who don't realize a problem can't possibly have any means or understanding with the ramifications of that problem. If they just ignore it, it's all good. But Definitely being intelligent, or not so much being intelligent, being intellectually honest enough, I want to say that way. Being intellectually honest enough to introspectively look at your life and analyze it objectively, or rather to look at things externally in the world, horrifically awful things like starvation, rape, genocide, awful, awful things. It makes you less happy, I'd have to say. When you spend a lot of time dwelling on the morbid realities of this world, you tend to become a bit macabre in your outlook on life. So, yeah, that was my last one I'm answering right now. I'll try to get through the rest of these. But, anywho, hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, well, screw you. Why are you still listening at this point? If you didn't enjoy the video, and you're still watching at this point, there's no excuse for that. So you're clearly just an idiot. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed, and I love you.